Alright, good morning guys. So Mason B had asked me on the last video to show him wants to know about how to handle iguanas that are flighty. And most iguanas at first are flighty. And it really depends on, there's several methods that you want to use, you can use. I don't really have a method. I kind of let the iguana decide when it wants to be handled or not, unless it's time when I have to give it a bath or trim nails. But what I will show you is different ages as we go through. Right behind me I have a 7-month-old, the hatchlings from 2018. Probably look at them and see how they react. They're gonna run. They're gonna run flighty, but show you just a little bit of handling. It'll calm down after a minute. So let's just go ahead and reach in here, and you're gonna hear a lot of rustling around, and then they'll be all right. I just gotta catch one. So I got one in mind, and she's the feistiest one in there. But let's see if we can handle her and just give her a second to calm down and see what it takes to check this out. So. Okay, sorry for the lighting. I put a bunch of lighting in here. Hopefully it would help the videos. And now it kind of blinds everything. So I try to set up the tripod and everything. But here we have a 7-month-old female who is flighty. Now the first thing you want to do is trim nails. And normally I'll take them and get them in the bathtub, let them soak for a minute, and then go trim nails. I'm applying pressure to her, so she's being grabbed. If I give her just a moment to calm down, let her realize she's not being eaten, and let go a little bit. Okay, she doesn't feel like she's in immediate danger. She's still kind of curious. You'll watch her eyes dilate. But she is looking around. Is a good sign. Now, when they start flicking their tongue, that's even better, because then they're curious about their environment. But right now, she's still breathing heavy. I just snatched her up out of her home. She was basking, everything was cool, and all of a sudden, she was grabbed by a big something. They're prehistoric. Iguanas have been around unchanged for millions of years. And so they're very reactive. They're not like monitors and some other snakes. They're not cognitive reasoning and problem solving isn't their strong suit. They work based on instinct, and anything bigger than they are will eat them. Because they're herbivores, they're not predators. So they just really have to be smarter than a leaf. And smart enough to run. But here we have, this is my red female, has an interesting pattern on her, and she's changed a little bit, but she's calmed down, just grabbing her. Now, you get them at this age, this is something you do every day, a couple times a day, after you let them rest for a couple days, after you receive them, pet store or from a breeder. But this is a little younger than this. And it's, they really they do a lot better. I have a lot, and so if I can get them and bathe them and clip nails, see that? She's red. The red hasn't come out, but she's red and it has stripes. So that's interesting to me, and it should be one of my holdbacks. Kind of let her move around on her own accord. Now remember, she was running flight and wanted to whip the tail, and she's trying to get away now. See, some tongue flicking. Oh, oh, oh. Now, really what scares them is grabbing them hard. If I didn't have such a cluttered shed, and I was in more of a, right now this is walking, and just allowing them to walk, I would be a little bit more free-handed with her. Now, one thing you don't want to do is grab the tail. That's it. You're through. But she's licking. Oh, okay, now she's biting. Biting's not cool, but she didn't bite hard. She was just letting me know, hey, I'm scared. If I get her to lick. But this is, I mean, so far so good. This is not a bad experience. We're doing pretty good with her. I've handled her a couple other times. Most of them I really don't handle a whole lot because the smaller they are, the more afraid they are. And but you know, I like grip. I'm not squeezing her, and just kind of allowing her. See what her pretty little do that. There's a lot of stuff, and they're very sensitive to noise. You know, they have great eyesight except for at night. But she's so interesting. She has these really orange patches on the back of her arms. And so this is semi-okay. She's looking around. She did lick. She bit a little bit, but she didn't clamp down in fear. So she's semi-relaxed. You know, she's not immediate danger. You know, she still kind of wanted to get away. But you know, she was flighty. That's why it's important to have cages that, I want to change all these cages to where I have hard surfaces, boards on the side, and there's just going to be a little bit of screen. Because they run a lot, and they don't care where they're running. They're going to run and smack their nose a lot. I have just one in there that is a real, you know, they're all a little different. So he's really smacking his face up a little bit. But I will be moving in 2 weeks, and we're moving. I know I talked about I was going to buy this place. I'm not going to be buying this place anymore. I'm buying another place, which has a 1,250 square foot shop, which I can put a second floor in, which is going to be really cool because then I got to do a whole lot of breeding. I have a lot of room, and I'll change all these cages up to fit the needs. I've learned over the past 3 years of what not to do, and so when I revamp, redo, remodel everything, there's going to be a lot of changes that will fit the needs better for the iguanas. But so far, you know, she's cool. Get a shot of her. 8 months old. She's kind of chilling. Still a little nervous, but you know, you saw the little tongue flicking. She smelled. She's curious. She's not sure. Tilting her head. This is okay. This you can work with this, and in a short amount of time, have a really tame iguana. It is breeding season. Let me show you. Hopefully my arms are up for it. Let me show you what an 18-month-old male will do. And probably not a good idea, but let's look. All right, so you have a very upset iguana. Very, very upset. This is an 18-month-old male. Most important thing is, one, make sure your hands aren't around the mouth, and two, you pin those back legs back. That's when you grab them, you're grabbing those back legs, because I don't know if you ever had rabbits, but those back legs are where the scars come from. He's not happy. Now, someone like this will take some time. He's already lived 18 months, not much handling. It is breeding season. You see the nice oranges? I don't know if you can see the oranges come out in the spikes. And this is a normal green. Nice orange right here. And you see the hemi-penny bulge. Hemi-penny bulge on each side. The ocula. This guy, not happy. So far I'm not bleeding. I gotta keep looking into the little dot here. Make eye contact with you guys so it's more personable, right? That's what YouTube says. But this will take some time. Just holding him and just being a... The tail is another thing. Now, again, we'll give him a bath and then we'll clip the nails. And what I do with that is I wrap him up in a towel and then I'll clip the nails. And my dog's barking, so that's making it worse. So, what another way, if you want to hold and move around and protect yourself from the tail, kinda, is let him perch on your arm. You see that? He wants to bite. There's not a flight response right now, it's fight. Which is because he's scared. But I'm trying to get him in a position where he doesn't let me open. Alright. So, I have my hands, fingers, kind of harnessing his front arms, his legs. I don't want him to push off on my body. I have him completely perched on my forearm. Alright, so now we're pretty secure, and you have the tail right back there. Okay, so now we're safe. He's safe. And you keep your hand back here a little bit so we have control. So now we have control of a very angry. He's not being hurt whatsoever. He's just not understanding what's going on. But this, you gotta do a lot. Now there are methods where you slowly introduce yourself, slowly introduce your hands, slowly let them eat out of your hands, and I've done that, and they eat out of my hands, and then I make the mistake of grabbing them, and then we're back to the ground zero. I have to be able to handle them, to treat them, bathe them, make sure any shed or anything, move them around, and I don't mind. He will, I believe, you hear him? He's breathing. I will, once he gets around 2 or 3 years old, like several of the other adults I have, they calm down. So it's really my idea. Once you have them, if you didn't get them as a tiny little baby and handle them every day, it's kind of just making your presence known. Feed, clean, you know, do stuff like that. Once they get, 3 years, 4 years, when they're bigger, they're not as afraid, and they're going to be easier to handle. So this is 18 months, 2 years, breeding season male. I am not bleeding. That's a good one. I'm not bleeding. So, like I said, you're going to grab them at the waist, lock those little legs back, and get your hand underneath the chest and keep those fingers away from the mouth. But then once you get from there, keep a little hold on him. And so now you have the tail back here. You're gonna get whipped a little bit. Oh, he wants to run. But as he's jerking around, I got him secure enough where I'm not getting scratched up. I don't like gloves. The claws get hung up in the gloves, and it's just a pain in the butt. And it teaches me how to handle them better. But I don't know if I want to call this guy dude or not yet. I think he gets a little older, but he's just not happy. Mouth kind of open, dewlap out. The second I release a little bit, he's gonna run, and hopefully, but as you can see, he's just shedding, but I've kept him from having to beat his face in. So, say hello. You see that the dilation of the pupil, back and forth, how it picks up. He's doing it. It's ever, oh yeah, there it is. That says he's still upset. And watch the pupils. If you watch once they say a certain size, he's breathing a little bit. But let's get him back in the cage, hopefully carefully, so he can kind of relax. And I'll grab an older one. Alright, so this is Buddy. He's about 3 now. And this is something he does. He puts his head up. I got several pictures on Instagram and Facebook. And as long as his head's up, but I can take him outside, he start opening his eyes and realize he's in the wrong spot. He'll panic a little bit. But Buddy was not always like this. Buddy was like the 18-month-old there. Very flighty, whippy, want nothing to do with me. And Buddy actually dislocated his leg twice on me. Both times we had a little rough encounter because I had to roll his hip and relocate his leg. After the second time though, and some bathing, and I had to miss a family trip because I stayed behind to make sure he's all right. He just became like this. So I'm not sure whether or not it was because, you know, I spent some time with him, you know, or he got older. I do have more evidence saying it's once they get older because I have some females and another male that was even about 3-4 years old when I got him. He didn't want to be touched. But this is Buddy. And Buddy is just amazing red iguana. He's a little over 4 foot long and still young. He's my young stud. But he just kind of freezes like this, which is cool. And I got a female, red female too. You guys see. Now he does have a little bit of bump on his nose. Come to find out, they're very aggressive when they see another male. So in the adjacent cages, he's been banging trying to get to the other males because he's like, hey, they're very territorial. Another thing I learned not to do, have open cages so they can see each other. Because this place is really tight. But once I put some cardboard up and they can't see each other, everybody's mellow. So lesson learned there. But he is puppy dog tame. I have gotten him out around other people. It's still a little skittish, but the more I do that, he's just a puppy dog. He does actually like it. The female doesn't quite like being petted, but he does, because he'll push into it like a dog and get all the skin off of him. But this is Buddy. And I have some babies, hopefully, from Buddy. Beautiful, all red, all orange. I'm not sure where he came from. What didn't come from America. He wasn't store-bought. You see, he was imported. The guy wasn't. He didn't want to tell me a whole lot about where he came from. But this guy's super bright orange. It'd be nice to pair him up with a hypo and see where that. Because I mean, honestly, some of these that I see, they're calling it almost coral glows, and there's hypo in there. When he was little, he was a deep red. He was a solid red. He was always a solid red, even at 3 or 4 months old when I got him. He was solid red. But I'm not going to call that a super. But this is Buddy after 3 years. Was not friendly at first, but I didn't do a whole lot of handling. You know, I take care of them, feed them, water them. You know, and if they have any bad shed, I'll make I'll make it happen to where I can clean them up. But he lets me pick at him, and he follows me around when I'm feeding everything, and he doesn't let up until I go in and pet him. So this is a good natured, you know, and it's gonna be, you know, they're all a little different. All the iguanas, they have different temperament. I mean, some are cool, some are not cool. So what I'm trying to do is breed a bunch of cool ones. So let me show you my gravid female who was not, she was just a mess, you know. But I can hold her now too, so let's see. Gotta get her in place. And so this is Little Red. And she's gonna have a clutch of babies from Buddy. And she's not, I mean, she's even gravid right now. She got this out. This is not, I don't know, she does this. Kind of a warning sign, but she's a deep red. She's gonna be a deep red. So hopefully her and Buddy, be interesting to see what those babies look like. She does this, but it's not aggressive. I can still, you know, pet around the face. But I've done this. So with her, over time, I just try to get in there and just touch her a little bit. After a while, she realizes that, and they get big enough, they realize they're not going to be eaten. But she, for a couple of years, would not let me touch her. I think people give up too soon. I mean, you don't have 20 years, maybe, hopefully. You have 20 years. I'm trying to get a good shot of how fat she is. So last year she had all slugs, which my other male didn't fertilize. But this year, hopefully, she's getting a little nervous. Her legs, here. They like to have their legs secure on something. But she's looking around. And so, the back legs especially, they want to have secure. A good setting. That wasn't a bite or anything. She knows, still okay. Still cool. So, and she's 3. She's 3 years old. So, it happens over time. People give up too easy. You know, keep them safe when they're young. Keep them from bashing their face in and run all over the place. Once they get bigger, they chill out. All right, I got one new addition. I'm very proud of, but there's a story. So I'm trying not to make this too long. But we'll put up Little Red. All right. So this is gonna be Skippy. The reason his name's Skippy is he's missing a leg. Now, I do not fault the owner of this animal. The owner of this animal is an actual big breeder and has employees, and he doesn't always have control over his employees because he's gone doing shows. So what happened with the leg was someone thought it'd be a good idea to pair him up with a much larger female. Didn't work out for him. Female wasn't having it and literally ripped the leg off. Then about a year later, he was off to some more shows, was gone for several weeks, and the keepers didn't feed him. If you can see how skinny the hips are, and I've had him for a week, and he is fattening up. He was in terrible condition when I got him, and actually we're going to go take a bath. But this is the sunset. Alright, so a phone call just interrupted that video. Anyway, I was going to say, this is the sunset hypo. You don't see any of these anywhere. There's a pair was sold last year, but you can't look them up on the internet. Even on Snakes at Sunset's webpage, I didn't find any information on this. But this one is different than your regular hypos. But it's Skippy. I don't know if that's a bad name or not. I had a 3-legged dog growing up. But hopefully, even though missing the leg, we'll start a breeding project next year. I want to have a full year. I think he's probably about 2-3 years old. He's really skinny right now, so I'm doing a lot of work fattening him up and getting him. But he's handleable. I guess I don't know the difference of having a 3rd leg or having not a leg, having 3 legs. And he's a little skittish. I need to trim the nails. Let's say hello to Skippy. Hey Skippy. But the color and pattern on this guy, just amazing. And he's looking around. He's been handled before. Just very unfortunate. Somebody either forgot or didn't show up for work or quit. But it's not the owner's fault. I really respect the guy. He was so upset that this had happened. We had talked about purchasing it for several months. And so we made an agreement, and I have him. A little bit of shed. That's fine. Really dehydrated, so you know, it's a bath every day. I give him lots of fruit, Missouri. But if just in a short period of time I had him, he's gaining his weight back. He's gonna make a full recovery. But it's just super awesome to have the sunset hypo. And I'm thinking, see what that does with blue. Blue and red. Throw it in and everything. I got some of my females that are het blue red. But he's pretty cool. He's kind of a little chill, to be expected from changing houses. You know, whole totally different environment. But there we go. So Mason B, hopefully that kind of helps you out. You know, there's a lot of stuff on YouTube and things that can take time. I would just suggest you get them small, handle them a lot, have treats in your hand, hold them and walk them. Don't squeeze them and restrain them. Lock yourself in the bathroom. Make sure you put the toilet lid down. And just get some time. Let them walk up your arm, walk in your shoulder, and know that, you know, and over time, or put them in a nice safe place, feed them, admire them, take pictures and videos, and slowly get your hand in there, let them eat from it. But once they start eating from your hand, don't go grabbing them. Twice I had the situation happen, got him to that point and tried to pick him up, and he went eat out of my hand, and it was several months before I could make that happen again. So here you go, Mason B. And new addition. I'm so happy about this. Super cool. There's only a few of these, like a handful. I mean, the guy said he released 2 pair on purpose, couple on accident. I think this may be an accidental let go. And there's not going to be any males released till 2020. I have a male now who will breed next year. Make some hets. And then from hets, we'll have some available. 3 years, 4 years. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. I don't always have the greatest videos, and the topics are up to you guys. If not, you're just going to see me play with my iguanas. And I can't wait to show y'all my new facility and all the cool things we're going to do from there. Alright guys, later.